What up?
What's up, dude?
How you doing?
Good, man. Never requested to join one of these before.
Beautiful thing. I had to find where to even add you. I'm exceedingly feeling older and older. I don't know about you with social media and all options. When they change where stuff is too, I'm like, I feel like my 9-year-old grandpa right now.
Hey, never change.
Just when I got used to the last update. How are you, man?
I'm good, dude. I just had a pimento cheese sandwich and hydrating for some pickleball this afternoon.
Dude, I was gonna ask if there was pickleball on the schedule, if it had already happened or not.
2 o'clock, man.
2 o'clock.
Playing with some ballers.
You close to the house on the court? You got to drive or?
Yeah, there's a new facility. It's like 12 minutes away. It's got 19 pickleball courts, and it's the biggest thing in Atlanta right now. And they're building padel courts, I think is what it's called. It looks like paddle, Padel,
Okay.
but it's another weird racket sport that's blowing up that it's like a mixture of racquetball, so it's all enclosed with like fiberglass, and then there's a net, so it's kind of like pickleball, but the ball's really bouncy instead of a pickleball, and you can hit off the walls and stuff, and it's just like crazy.
Incredible.
It's kind of blown up on social media, similar to how pickleball is. It's crazy seeing these like weird sports that are just kind of exploding just because of social media, really.
Yeah, I mean, we chatted about the pickleball thing, but it is wild. I mean, what would you attribute its explosion to? Like the ascension of pickleball in pop culture and culture at large in the States is just wild.
It's because it's just been around for a long time. It was invented in the 50s in Washington State. But what's amazing about it is, I think what's attractive to it is like you see it and you're like, oh, I could do that. Especially because it is popular among the older community. So like at literally like senior living facilities, it's just in Florida, retirement communities.
I think of the villages.
Exactly. And
The documentary is crazy,
just,
dude.
The alert of like, oh, I could do that, blah, blah, blah. It looks easy. And then you get out there and you're like, oh, this is a lot more than I thought, and I'm having a lot of fun. There's like less time in between points, and then the culture around it is just a lot more fun. It's a lot more inviting.
Yeah. Well, like it does seem like tennis, there's like the barrier to entry is a little bit higher. Like you got to kind of, I mean, if you were playing a mean doubles game, you would at least have to know how to serve. Like, which takes some finesse and some practice versus pickleball. Seems like, I mean, I've never played. It seems like I could get out there and give it a go.
Dude, within like 15 minutes, you can like pick it up quickly enough to where you start having fun. Just as someone who has started from nothing and started tennis and then started with no experience and started pickleball, comparing the two, with tennis, you're like launching the ball over the fence for months, just like you're really going for it. But then in pickleball, it's just the skill requirement and that natural ability requirement is just so much lower. Like you don't have to be a freaking athlete to play the sport and have fun. So.
Right. And the ball, I guess, is not as bouncy then.
Yeah.
Because tennis,
the football,
zooming it over the edge or over the fence, and
there it is.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't know it was porous.
Yep.
With the holes.
Yep. It's just so the air can go through it easier.
Is that like rubbery or is that like hard plastic?
Yeah. So when you're really close to your opponent hitting it, you're hitting it anywhere from 40 to 50 miles an hour at them from 14 feet away, which is
annoying.
But when you back up and you're hitting these like more full court shots, the ball slows down really quickly because of the air resistance. So it's kind of like badminton, where it's really fast for like the first few feet and then it slows down a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's some injuries from this, dude. Like
yeah, 40 miles an hour, like point blank, man. I imagine
people are taking this to the retina and having detached retinas right now. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Don't look up the YouTubes, people. You'll find them. Dude, that's awesome, man. Well, thanks for hopping on here and doing this with me, man. I know we'll have maybe a few people cycle in and out, but I'll definitely post it live afterwards. And I thought it would just be cool to highlight you and Hometown Crew a little bit, have a quick chat. Maybe we touch on Red Sky today, but I guess just to give people a little background on you, like we've been friends for a handful of years now, and Hometown Crew is your company, video production company, and you guys have been integral in doing multiple pieces of MYFEVER content, including, I guess at this point, 3 official videos you guys have been involved in: Wish Me Down, Childhood Keepsake, one of my faves, and then bringing it up to current, Red Sky, which came out yesterday. But yeah, dude, for those who don't know you, maybe talk a little bit about Hometown Crew, how it started, and it'd be cool to hear, I don't even know this, like how you got into videography. I don't think we've ever chatted about that.
Yeah. I started a company 12 years ago. I graduated from the University of Georgia. Couldn't get a job after college. I was roofing. It was terrible. So much time to think about how to not roof. And I've always had a passion for just making videos. I mean, since I was 14 years old, just making silly videos with my friends. I think a lot of people did this, but like I just kept doing it. So like through college, when I was in the marching band at Georgia, I would make all the hype videos. I would just film silly game day videos. I'd edit those and spend way more time doing that than I was studying. And
what year was this? So people get an idea too. It'd be interesting to know like social media at that point.
Yeah. So when I was in college, it was like 2007. I think I had just gotten like a Facebook.
Yeah. Early, I guess, was iPhone out? Or was that?
iPhone came out in like 09, I think.
09, because this is pre-iPhone.
Yeah. Crazy. So I was just sitting there on my white MacBook with GarageBand, ripping these videos out. So I've always loved it, and for whatever reason, it never crossed my brain until post-grad, where I was like, maybe I could like get people to pay me to do this. And sure enough, that's what I did. Started with weddings. It's a very common entry point. Did that for like 6.5 years. And that was honestly, I mean, people dog on wedding videos, and I think the industry, you know, anybody can get kind of jaded when you're in an industry so long. And but man, I was like really thankful, and I felt really blessed to be able to catch that wave of filmmaking in the wedding space that was just taking off in like 2010, 2011, with a certain camera that came out, the Canon 5D Mark II. It was pretty expensive. It was like $2 or $3 grand or something, but it brought that 24 frame per second look to the consumer level, where it was like kind of possible, if you had any ability to tell a story or utilize lighting well, you could make really great looking stuff with this little DSLR that Canon released. Kind of rode that wave. That's like the stars aligned with that piece of tech coming out, with the wedding industry really starting to take off in the wedding film world. So yeah, I rode that wave for a really long time and was able to like quit roofing and just work on this, hone on the craft, watch hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos and tutorials, and get inspired by, you know, like Vimeo as a platform where people just put crazy stuff on there that not many people get to see. Like the widespread public doesn't see just how like creative some people are that are just out there create, which I think is really awesome. Yeah. And then to tie it back to like everything that we've done together, every time we've done a project, I get that genuine feeling of like, man, we're out here to create for the sake of creating, and I hear it in your music. And so yeah, it's just like super fun when you can be part of a project that's like that. I think Lee posted something this morning about that. He's like, don't care what people think, like if you want to go make something that makes you happy, like go freaking do it. So yeah, it's always awesome being able to like do that whenever possible, because now, you know, it's like I'm doing a lot of corporate stuff, and serving clients are amazing. I get really fulfilled working with clients and helping them accomplish the mission. And even on the artist side too, where it's a little more subjective, where you're taking a creative expression like a song and then putting a visual to it. You know, it's like working the left side of the brain,
Yeah.
corporate side working the right side of the brain, being very objective based. So it's been a really nice balance that I've found with mostly doing corporate work, but every once in a while, year to year, consistently doing music video projects that are just really good. So.
Yeah, man. No, that's awesome. It's been really cool, even just as your friend, to see the arc career-wise too, which I had no doubt in. Like, I think "Wish Me Down" was probably the first thing we connected on, and I think you guys did it for like free or next to nothing. It was you and our roommate at the time was Drew Jacoby, and just to see that guerrilla style like work ethic of just like, we're going to get this done. Well, not only are we going to get it done, but I'm going to shoot this in such a way that we have like a million different options, just because like the sky's the limit. And like that creativity you touched on, I think has always been intact, still intact for you, which is really awesome. Maybe talk a little bit too, like, so that was the beginning, but how did you switch? What was like the first music video, and how did you get into like music videos? And to give a little more info around that too, Kevin has done a ton with in the metal music arena. Worked with Devil Wears Prada and like multiple amazing big Silent Planet, multiple huge metal artists. Like, how did that all work? How did you get into that realm?
So when I lived in Athens, when I had just started, this was 2012, I guess. Really committed full time to video production. I had a friend that just wanted to shoot like a little commercial thing for his company, and I was like, okay, I want to make this awesome. Red cameras are awesome. Who's got a red camera? And so I asked my buddy Phil from church if he had heard of the camera or knew anybody. He's like, yeah, I went to high school with this guy named Aaron Marsh. Not to be confused with Copeland Aaron Marsh. It's a different Aaron Marsh.
Same arena.
Yeah.
Different Aaron.
Aaron had bought one of the newer Reds at the time that came out in like 2010, the Red Mysterium X. And so I met Aaron through my buddy Phil, and we shot this thing, and it did not go very well. It was just kind of like, didn't have much vision. It was just kind of lame. But it was my first time seeing a red camera, working with it, and I met Aaron in the process. And Aaron is basically a legend in the like alternative rock and metal space, because he was basically the guy on planet Earth to make MySpace layouts, like design these awesome MySpace layouts for band world. When he was 14 years old, he was making like crazy money. I think he said he was like 14 or 15, making like 60, 70 grand a year. He got a full ride to SCAD, just kind of coasted through because he's just like this naturally gifted guy. He had worked with Under Oath, just like all the Bring Me the Horizon, like awesome. big like metal bands. And he's just an awesome dude. And he really didn't like editing. And so he was doing all these music videos, like not just working for really big bands. He was doing a lot of small bands as well. So he'd bring me along, and I would just kind of be there, you know, helping him on set. It was just me and him, man. It was just very like low budget DIY, but I loved it. And I was like, man, if you don't want to edit this, let me take a stab at it. And just kind of fell in love, like editing these kinds of visuals for these like heavy bands.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly listen to heavy music a lot before this, but just being able to work with the visuals with it was amazing. I mean, who didn't listen to Linkin Park? You know, right? Guys like
they're like a gateway drug to hardcore.
Meteora, Hybrid Theory. I mean, I was in love with all that stuff in high school, but then in college, you know, I kind of fell off. But so I ended up working with Aaron, and before too long, I was able to work with him enough to create my own relationships within the industry, and specifically with Solid State Records, which is the metal label, sub-label of Tooth and Nail Records. And just started working with them and did a great job for some of their bands, Silent Planet. These guys, they're some of my, some of my best friends at this point. First time working with them was 2016, and that was my first music video that I did just independently, like by myself, where I worked directly with the band, understood their vision, came up with the ideas. Drew Jacoby was also part of that, came up with, you know, a bunch of those ideas that made it into the music video, and it ended up being like one of their, at this point, like for a long time, it was their most successful music video. It was just super powerful. It was about, it was honoring soldiers with PTSD, and the lyrical content was just like super empathetic toward that community. And yeah, it's really, I mean, heavy subject matter, but up until recently, we came up with a music video 3 months ago, and it's their best performing song, music video of all time. But up until 3 months ago, it was their most like engaged watch music video for that long. It's the first one that I ever did with that band, and then other bands saw it, and then before too long, I was just getting blown up like by everybody, which is so. And since then, it's kind of tapered off. Like I've still consistently made a lot of videos. I've made every Silent Planet video, which is just an awesome. I don't know. They're like super loyal with their content creators, and they just really value the relationships. Again, I feel like that's something we have too, just over the years. Like no matter what, it's like we're just gonna keep making videos if at all possible, like because we love working together. So yeah.
Well, I feel like you also, not to interrupt, but I feel like I know this as a artist myself and a musician and songwriter. When you find someone who artistically, visually matches what you are imagining sonically and musically, I think it's really powerful. And I feel like your ability to make a metal looking video or a heavier type of video with the effects and the visuals that go along with that, like you touched on, I think is huge. And I think it's, you know, a testament to your ability, but also how you guys sync up. Because tell the people, so you said the only video that knocked out that first one is the more recent video. Which song was that?
Antimatter.
So that's Antimatter. That video is amazing.
It almost killed us.
Yeah. I remember getting a text from you. You're like, dude, I'm so stressed right now.
Yeah.
I might die.
Yeah. I gotta give a quick shout out to Rod Cooley, dude. Yeah. Rod.
What's up, Rod?
Rod is this crazy talented designer, like hand drawn, like a photographer designer, out on Flagstaff, and we worked together on a music video too back in the day, an old Fit for a King video where I drug Ansley out of the desert wearing pumps, and she was wearing like a Potter costume from Hot Topic that was like $8.
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do out here.
Yeah.
Get it done. You got to get it done. Dude, we should touch on that real quick. I have another question creatively, but I thought it would be interesting to talk about, bringing up Ansley, how we actually know each other. So to give a little bit of back history, so we grew up really good family friends with a family called the Tillers. Actually, my mom's best friend from high school, they went to Clarkston High School, I think, in Georgia. Long story long, Ansley and Kevin got together. So Ansley is Lynn's daughter, my mom's best friend from high school. And they ended up getting married. And I think really that's ultimately how we met. I think Allie introduced me maybe originally, but there was that tie with the Tillers, which is crazy. Considering they're still like best friends. Like I think Mom and Lynn hung out like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
And they got food poisoning.
Yeah. I wasn't going to bring that point up, but you're right. You're dead right. I think it was short-lived, but yeah, what a terrible way to celebrate your high school friends you've been friends with for years. Just get food poisoning at the beach.
Yeah.
Dude, tell me about, maybe one more question and we'll hop into Red Sky a bit and we can roll back. Tell me about just how many years have you done video work now? It's been 10 years, right?
Yeah, professionally, like I started my LLC February 2012. Okay. So a little over 10 years now, which is crazy.
Talk to the people about like horror stories. Do you have like and it could be anything, like it could be a music world or corporate world or wedding world. Like, did you have a day where you got home and your entire hard drive was corrupt and you had only half of a wedding or something?
Fortunately,
Maybe it's been smooth sailing. I was just curious as a war veteran.
Yeah, I am so fortunate to not have any insane data loss stories. I have lost data, but it wasn't like important, and it wasn't just like it didn't put me in a horrible situation. So, but I think the two things that come to mind, one was a very long time ago when I was making weddings. It was just one of those, like, I hate to say, like, cursed wedding days, dude. Just like, it was really bad.
They're real.
Was off of Craigslist, and they hired this dude off of Craigslist to be their officiant. The couple didn't know this, but he wrote a poem about them, and it was just
Wait, say that part again. You cut out the last part. It was just what?
It was so cringe, like the poem. Like, this dude wrote a poem about them. And you could just see it. I was there filming, and I was like, oh my gosh, they didn't know this was going to happen. Like, you could just. And then during the reception, the sprinkler system went off and hosed the whole place. And then the bride, had way oil. And the DJ just came to us and was like, you guys, there's not going to be an exit. Get out of here. So that's what we did.
How was your gear? Did you fare well? Like, did you have any water damage?
What's that?
Did you have any water damage gear-wise or anything?
No. We fortunately had all our gear out, and it didn't bother us at all. So yeah, we were saved from all the craziness.
That's hilarious, dude. I will say, as someone who has also worked in the wedding arena, I haven't done a ton, maybe a year, but I do a lot of personal dinners all the way for hire as a side hustle. But you touched on that. Like, I feel like that is so real. Like, there's palpable rough weddings, and I don't know what it is. It's just like the elements are against you, and you almost feel it when you arrive at these weddings. Like, I've had a few, and you can just see it on like the face of the people. You can see it on the wedding planner. And you're like, all right, buckle in. This is going to be interesting. That's wild, man. I love that. And I'm glad there's never been a proper deletion of anything, because I have also had friends who've had dealt with that. Half a wedding that's really a second shooter, let's say you're really
Yeah. Is there something? The audio sound crazy on your end?
It doesn't sound crazy, but I am losing you. Like, every couple words, I'm losing you.
Is there a way that I can rejoin, maybe?
Yeah. You want to see if you can leave and come back?
Yeah.
Is it doing the same for me?
I just hear this like super loud. It's like someone's got a mower in your room right now.
Dude, you know what I think it was? I think it's my computer. The fan just came on my computer.
Oh, yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah, that'll work. I just shut it. It was like because my speaker was literally sitting next to the fan on my computer. Sorry, dude.
Someone's got a weed whacker right behind you, dude.
Yeah, Brian's like, there's something like, sounds like someone's mowing the lawn. There's also roofers like right beyond this wall. Like, they're probably intermittent roof noises, but
there you go. You're crystal clear now, dude.
Cool, dude. Well, hey, before we wrap it up, let's touch on Red Sky a little bit. So, Red Sky music video came out yesterday. You and our good friend Garrett Drake came down, and you guys helped us knock it out, guerrilla style, nonetheless, in about a day. I guess half a day, really. But Dude, what do you think? Like, any notes or anything to add? Like, what do you think made the video work? I think I'm so proud of it. Like, I'm stoked on it. But also, maybe any challenges with that video and edit, and just I don't know, anything you got on it.
It's been so just from an editing standpoint, real quick, it's kind of miraculous how often this happens, but you go into something that isn't like we had a plan, but a lot of music videos in general, you go in and you make a plan, but then you kind of pivot on the spot sometimes, make some calls, and you're not like there's very few times where I have like, all right, for the first verse we're gonna have this content, for the chorus we're gonna have this content, and it's just all mapped out. I've done it like 3 times maybe out of just, I don't know, 50 or 60 music videos. And so it's crazy when like you don't plan everything out and then you get into editing and you're like, wow, we have exactly enough content we need, and if we shot any less we would have been kind of in trouble.
Yeah.
So like one of those.
And that's both videos with me. I feel like it was the same with 30 for my solo music.
Yeah. So just having like enough interesting content, it was like, wow, we shot the perfect amount of scenes, like in the gym specifically, where it's like we could create an interesting look throughout the whole thing. So it was definitely one of those projects where I was I was kind of like, wow.
Well, we should talk about the gym too. I mean, the challenge of the size of that room. I remember going into it, and you definitely touched on it. You're like, hey man, this is going to be interesting. But to give people an idea, all those gym scenes, if you guys have watched the music video, was shot in a buddy of mine's gym, which is probably picture like a tin box gym that's like, I don't know, what would you say, 25 feet by like 50, or 80 maybe, something in that range, like very small. And thank God it had like 2 stories. There are kind of like 2 different looks, and then we kind of like took advantage of the outside. I mean, we pretty much used every nook and cranny of that place, which I think it worked. But you're right, like it's one of those things where it's almost supernatural sometimes, where you're like, dang, like we literally got every single thing that we needed it with hardly any excess. But I think we did nail it as far as that, but that was definitely challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, we had just enough space to like get those Wes Anderson type frames that we were going for, just straight on. We found symmetry in there somehow, and just really made it work. My favorite shot that we got, I think, is close to the beginning, where Dan is doing curls, Gary's hanging on the rings, and then you're like looking at the little weight clamp thing, and you actually put it back on. So that clip is actually, I actually put it in reverse. So
Oh, really?
it's actually backwards. So that makes it to where your movement is kind of strange. So if you go back and watch it again, watch how you hold the little thing and then place it back and then put your hand by your side really weirdly. It's just really strange. But
Dude, I totally, I didn't notice that it was reversed, but I did notice that it felt different than the shot I had seen when we were looking at playback day up. That's funny, because I was like, I thought we shot it the other way. Dude, it's those little tricks though sometimes that can get you through. And it's weird too, like I know from doing some video editing that sometimes just something like as small as that can make a shot look better and feel better. Like we had one tweak where I had you invert that one video shot at the end, or clip rather, where Garrett and I are destroying the exercise ball, and it flows and looks cool to me to have like, okay, someone's hitting on this side, someone's hitting on the right side of the frame. And it's interesting how just the smallest little tweak can sometimes just help your eye a little bit, enjoy it more or something.
having it be like such a collaborative process like that is just, I love it. It's so helpful, like fresh eyes, like I'm sure like when you write a song and sit on it for a while and then you almost like kind of forget it and then you come back with fresh eyes, or you run it by a buddy who hasn't heard it at all and they're able to like point stuff out. I think being able to exist in those kinds of collaborative relationships just totally make things better. Because like almost all your edits, I was like, I wasn't really thinking about that at all,
Yeah.
and it really does like make everything better. Everything from like lighting consistency to having the idea of doing the reverse stuff, like so it's usually always like that, and I'm always really hoping to have that kind of workflow and process with whoever I'm working with, really.
Yeah. I think it turned out great, man. You did such a great job, and you're right. It was very much a marriage of everybody throwing out ideas, and even down to the edit situation. It was working back and forth. And I will highlight before we run. I think my favorite shot was right after the one you described. Probably first chorus where I'm doing pull-ups, but you see Dan doing like the trap thing and just the face. Which there was a note at some point to cut that shot. They're like, someone said, "Is this too goofy?" And the more I watch it, I wait for that shot, and I just can't watch it without smiling. I'm so glad it made it in because I do feel like this video, one of the keys was towing that line of humor and satire without being cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we did it well. It's a good balance.
Yeah. Man, so good too, man. I remember when you shared it with me and Ann's, and like it was December 2020 when we went to that bar in PCB. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, Bergen Barrel.
Yeah, and I got COVID.
Yeah.
Like almost missed the big of my life in January.
Yeah, it was like the next day. You guys were like down and out.
Yeah, that's the first time you shared the SoundCloud with me because the record's been done for a long time, and like now it's just got to be exciting, like getting it out. And dude, from the get-go, I mean, it was another single and Red Sky, just instant like hook. I was like,
Yeah,
stuck in my head for a long time, and I love what the song means, and so just being able to like do this, I'm so glad you guys wanted to do Red Sky for music video because I've always wanted to. So
thanks, man. Thanks for being willing to be a part. I think we wouldn't have wanted to do any and all visuals without having you be a part. You've been such an integral part of MyFEVER's video side, really, man, and we super appreciate it. And yeah, it is cool to get it out finally and start getting songs out. It's like this process is probably my least favorite part. Like I enjoy creating it and getting to play it live, but it helps to work with people we love, and I think it's exciting. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that the songs are coming out now versus even 2020. Like, just the climate of our world, indie rock. Like, it felt like keyboard was very forward, and it was still like this pseudo pop indie thing. And now it's like, I don't know. Personally, I'm ready for some guitar albums, and that's what this is. So it's cool to get it out, man. And before we run, what's coming up creatively for Hometown Crew? Do you guys have any music videos? Are you working on any edits right now? And maybe touch on where people can find you guys too if they were to want to hire you guys.
yeah, we're kind of dialing in our website, hometowncrew.com. It's a little confusing for us trying to navigate, all right, how do we, show that we're really good at corporate, but we do have a strong desire to do things that are more on the creative spectrum with music. So how do we balance that? So if you go to our website, it's our best go at trying to do that. So we're still working on it. But currently I'm editing the Max Mcnown video. You look so freaking cool in it. So like Wes was like in the video, and then he did a live recording where we recorded 6 acoustic songs after the music video. And then we shot another music video all in one day. It was crazy, all within like maybe 1,500 square feet, like all within the same spot. So I'm finishing that up now. It looks really good. He's really popping off, man. I'm just like, how do you learn guitar like less than a year ago, and you've got like 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify?
Incredible vocalist, man. I love his voice.
Really unique.
And he's the subsidiary. It's like the break off of Tooth and Nail, first time venturing into sort of country, alternative country.
Yeah.
Realm.
Yeah. I think it's that country pop wave. I mean, I'm not very well versed in what you'd call it, but I've got it's just a country voice, and like the songwriting, it's very elemental songwriting. He writes about like fire and iron and the weather and ice and all kinds of stuff. It's just amazing what he's putting out with like pop hooks. Like the choruses and the melodies are very pop, and it's just like, I'm way into this, man. Like, this is really cool.
I love the sad side of it too, like just the sad singer-songwriter aspect of it, which is what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So just finishing that up, and then shooting a Christmas commercial with my senior living client, which is awesome, dude. They're always just awesome. Like
the life of a creative, yeah.
Working with these people, it is a blast, and it's so funny. They're one of my really loyal clients. I've been producing their content for like 4 years now, I think, and just really value their relationship. And it's just always so fun just working with old folks, man. They just say it like it is.
Dude, I think we've done one of those together. I think I came and helped for a shoot, but it is cool, man. Yeah, just that you approach it with the same sense of professionalism and humility to it. I think it's beautiful that you've had those long-term clients too.
And then just getting ready for baby, December 1st, dude, second kid.
Coming up. Can't wait for y'all, man.
Yeah.
Everything going well?
Yeah. Yeah, my mom came over and she already put up the Christmas tree. We already have the Christmas tree up, which is weird, but we're just like so ready. Ansley's like, get this thing out of me right now.
that very end is tough, man. They're ready. They're more than ever.
Yeah, but just thinking about Jake having a little buddy, I'm just like we don't know the gender, so it's either a boy or a girl, and people are like, how in the world can you go without knowing? It's like, I don't know. The second one, you're just kind of like, let's like make it a little more.
I think there's so much beauty in that, man. That's what I'm from a family of 4, as you know, and mom and dad did that, I think, with Allie and Cammie, or it might have been mixed match. 2 of us, they didn't know. I want to do that. I think it's cool. It's just like, let it be a surprise. And you know what? Honestly, it takes a little weight off the shoulders to have to do all that, you know, the announcement and the party. And I don't know about you, man. I have enough social media in my life as a creative. I'm like, I don't need more things to post about.
Yeah.
That's awesome though, man. Thanks for hopping on here and doing this, Kev. I'm really stoked. We got to hang twice in a month, which is rare now that I'm not in Atlanta, and got to chat today. But dude, I super appreciate it. And if y'all haven't had the chance to check out Red Sky, it's on all streaming platforms. The music video is up on YouTube, which we're just at MyFeVER Band on everything. Hometown Crew, what's the website, Kev?
Hometowncrew.com.
Hometowncrew.com. You can follow Kevin. He's HC_Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
On Insta, and yeah, hire him for a music video. And him and his crew are amazing. And yeah, dude, crush pickleball today.
I will.
I need a text knowing if you got the dub or not afterwards, and how old they were too, as well, because 80 doesn't count, Kev.
Yeah, I'm playing with people in their late 50s and maybe a couple in their early 60s, and then there's a couple young guys. So it's like the kingdom, bro. Everyone will be there.
Runs the gamut, dude. Awesome, man. Hey, and thanks to everybody who tuned in. We got 7 people in here, Kev. We're popular. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Keep up with us. Many more things to come, but appreciate you, Kev.
Yeah, man. Love you, dude. We'll talk soon.
Love you too, brother. Peace. Bye.